speaking about historical facts, I made a research and discovered that traditionally women played piano because they could stay at home, and men were wind musicians because they went outside and played with the band. And it's like a shocking thing for me. I didn't know that thing is the thinking of staying at home and going outside, that it was traditionally for men or for women, no? Like, and I have been thinking also, if there is one instrument for women now or another instrument for men, or there is not that distinction. There accessible for two genders, or not? What do you think? When I speak with accordionists, they are very much men. This is like a rare flower to be manca, because it's like according to women. It's very very good.
Yeah,
But also professors of accordionist professors are in a very big number men, in high levels professors. Like, I don't
yeah.
know, maybe or is that in the accordion world and not in the piano, for example, or is like the same thing? What is your opinion or your living experience about that?
I can say only from my experience, like
Yes, of course, of course.
when I was small, we were just maybe two girls who entered like this accordion class, and it was always, except when coming to Finland, before Finland, it was always like mostly men, etc., etc. I don't know, maybe like on the first ball, I would say like what I got when I was small. Oh, but accordion is so heavy instrument. It's like
Um,
it's not for a girl. Like this kind of stereotypes, which are super dumb. Even my mom, for example, she said,
uh,
"Oh, but why did you choose accordion? Like, why not
uh,
flute?" And I said, "I love it. Like,
yeah.
it's just." And I love it every day. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm not regretting my choice being
This
5 years
is.
old. But maybe those things like, oh, this is like not girly instrument, like it's heavy, 15 kilos, things like this,
Mm-hmm.
like are kind of like somehow very stupidly like
Yes.
narrowing. So maybe it started from there, like thinking like what are now teachers on high,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like high levels,
Yeah.
professorships, as
So
you said.
yes.
Maybe because of the history also, because also
Mm-hmm.
our instrument, it's not that old actually in the end, like what we
Mm-hmm.
have nowadays. So yeah, I think in order to be in this history or in this development or whatever, I think
Mm-hmm.
you need to be a strong woman to go through obstacles which society brings, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, here in accordion class in Finland, there are quite many females.
Uh-huh.
I must really admit, which is very nice to see, and hopefully also after
Isn't
some
it
years.
about half and half, Mancha?
Mm, I think it's a bit more females right now. Not half half, but I would
Mm-hmm.
say three-fourths of females.
Three-fourths. Mm-hmm.
Something
Also
like
in
this.
high level education, or like starting playing?
I'm speaking about high level
Ah,
education.
okay.
Then starting playing, it's maybe half half, something
Yes.
like this.
I
But
have
like
seen that, because in the early ages it is the same
but
always, as in
I
school.
see, yeah, I see, for
Yes.
example, like festivals or like ensembles, like professional
Uh-huh.
ensembles. There is no female accordionist. Like it's very, very like interesting to see. Like I don't know,
That is
maybe.
that has been like the general, like what you were Maida talking about, that there are a lot of stereotypes that high pitched instruments are for women, low
Uh-huh.
pitched instruments are for men. So like cello is more male dominated, violin, flute is more women.
Uh-huh.
Guitar, which is a sort of like more like masculine and big instrument,
Yes.
is also much more men, and everything that it has more physicality about it is always considered for more for men.
Mm-hmm.
But also everything that has more with a sort of leader position, so conducting and also composition, because
Mm-hmm.
in a way as a composer you have to have the such a strong idea that you believe that like a whole orchestra of 100 people will
Mm-hmm.
do your idea. So there's
Yes.
also in a way a sort of aspect of leadership. but it's interesting this about high positions, but because, for example, just like you said, Maider, that most of the, even though there would be a sort of half and half still in studying, it always ends up that who gets the high positions. So that's what we are not, I think nowadays we are trying to question that, how can it be that men always are more competent? Is that really the question, or is there some bias that we have? That, for example, there has been a research in Stanford about applying for work in a laboratory, so not music, and they sent in the same application as a woman and as a male. They just changed like their name and a photo, and generally the whole jury, both women and men, ranked the men like 20% more able and 20% more sort of capable for doing this work, and suggested a better salary for them. So it was sort of when women get an 8, men get a 10. So it's sort of very structural in our head, this sort of unconscious thinking, which I think makes that there. So it's interesting also when you look at, for example, the orchestra programs, that I think it was like about between 60 and 80% of the soloists are male, and 96% of the conductors are male, and 96% of the composers are male. So these are things that I think you have to really be conscious about if you want to change.